Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John Ahr and I'm your instructor. Now, I hate to admit this, but I've been making jewelry for over 30 years and I listened to some bad advice. I listened to people who told me that paste solder was terrible. Well, I tried it for myself and I gotta tell you, it's fantastic and I want to share it with you. So, let me show you what we're gonna do in this video. We're going to solder these hexagonal segments that have been cut from a hexagonal tube together to form this pattern. And we're going to use the paste solder in this syringe. Now, the way that this works is flux and micro pieces of solder are blended together into this paste and then pumped into this easy to use syringe. And all you have to do is just apply it to the surfaces where you are going to need flux and solder, push them together, apply the heat from your torch, and literally there's virtually no cleanup necessary afterwards. It's amazing. So let me show you how to do it. First, let's go over some of the tools though. We're going to use obviously the paste solder flux combination. I've got a heat resistant surface that I have a hardened piece of charcoal sitting on top of. Just in case I need to push things around, I've got a handy solder pick here, and there's a video on how to make one of these. I have a butane torch that's hot enough to solder material together. I have a pair of copper tongs for picking the piece up so that I can quench it into this beaker. Now behind the beaker, I have ventilation. And this product clearly states on its label that you need to work either outdoors or under good ventilation. Otherwise, you run some health risks. So we're going to vent the bad fumes away. And lastly, I always like to wear my eye protection whenever I work at the bench because you never know. Okay, so let's get started. So I want to make this pattern. So let's look and see where it needs solder. Well, I could apply solder to this edge and this edge in order to attach it to these two pieces. And then to make this attachment, I could either apply solder to either this side or this side in order to put it together. All right, so let's do it. All right, so I'm going to pick this piece up. Remember, I only need to put this material on two sides. Now, it should be easy to squeeze right out. You just need to control it. And I'm just going to put it right where I want it. And it always seems amazing to me that just this little tiny amount is going to work. Okay, I'm going to set this back down. And now I'm going to pick up this one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the material on one edge, because that's all I need. And I'll set it back down. Okay, so I'll set that aside. And now all I need to do is just put them together. So I'll just line them up. And I'll push these two together, almost like I'm gluing them together. And then I'll add this one right here. Okay, so it looks like everything's set and in place, so let's add some heat. So I'm going to light my torch. Remember, the trick to soldering is bring everything up to the same temperature uniformly and the solder should flow. And I should have my solder pick in the opposite hand just in case I do need to move anything. Now look at that. The material, it's kind of venting out, and on top of that you can see it's really not moving at all. So let me just make sure I have all these elements heated nicely. You can see some of the solder beginning to flow in this seam. So let's try to carry this heat across. And there it goes right there. And now let's get this seam done. Remember, solder is attracted to heat. Okay, it looks like we've gotten everything to flow. So I'll turn off my torch. I didn't use my solder pick at all. The pieces together. And we're done. It's amazing. And you can see that the top surface has very little cleanup to take care of. Light sanding ought to handle it. I hope you like this tip. Remember, you can check out many more tips like this one here on YouTube or at Online Jewelry Academy. And you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.